Hello, everybody, and welcome to Inside The Urn. I am Bryan.
I'm Kyle.
And we are here to break down the votes for episode 6 of Backyard Survivor Season 4 Redemption.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Two big headlines from this episode. One is the vote, and two is the returnee challenge. So let's get to the vote first. The Blues have been whittled down on the other side, and there are people on the New Joba side who are interested in maintaining that alliance. So they're going to go to Tribal Council and they're going to try and target one of the Blues.
Yeah, because it really is beneficial for, if Rachel and Josh are wanting to save Matt and Michael, they don't know what the dynamic is on that tribe, so they might see that they have to throw it. And then potentially for Abby and Matt, they could also be looking at it it might be someone from red, but if there's an upset, then it's someone from yellow.
Yeah.
And so for them, it's not great for the other side to go to Tribal Council.
Jobo's going to throw the challenge and take a very long time eating some of that pizza. And New Barrack is going to be so proud of their win, but ultimately it was thrown. I didn't know that this was happening in the moment, though. Did you?
Neither. No, not at all.
I think the hardest part about doing this is people are dehydrated. It's so dry.
Yeah.
That'll be the problem. In getting those slices down.
Except for that one slice.
Oh, yuck. Yeah. Oh. That shot where Dan tips it up and it slides down his throat, it's disgusting.
A great episode for Dan, despite the fact that he will get voted out at the end of this episode.
Yeah, spoilers, we're not there yet.
Sorry. Okay.
You do this every time. Okay, the vote. We have Dan and Fu and Jake. They are a 3. We then also have Rachel and Josh, who are 2, and Abby and Matt, who are 2. And names are getting put out there, and there is interest in working with the Blues. Yeah, Fu has made good connections with people, and Dan has made good connections, in particular with Matt B. Mm-hmm. So Dan is kind of being asked, who would you want to put out there? And he says, well, unfortunately, the person who I have the least connection with is Josh. So Josh's name is now out there. But the other side of this is that Matt and Abby and Rachel and Josh have this yellow-red thing going on, and there's a bit of momentum behind getting rid of some of these Blues, and so they're going to throw out Jake's name. We've seen that Jake is not able to integrate himself into the tribe in the same way that Dan and Fu have been able to. So Jake's name is the predominant one on the chopping block. Mm-hmm. Where this vote starts to become quite interesting is, they have 4-3. If they go with those 4, they could just vote one of the Blues and game over for them. Where it becomes interesting is they want Fu as well. So they want to take Fu from the Blues and integrate her into this red and yellow alliance. Now they're pitching to Fu, would you be interested in going for Jake with us? And Fu's interested.
Yeah, Fu sees the writing on the wall, and she knows that Blue's being targeted, and so if the ship is sinking, but someone is, throwing you a raft, and you're like, yes, I will jump on board that. Give me security. I think for her, if you know that it's going to be one of your allies that's being voted out here, you know that your 2 people is not enough if nobody's swinging to your side. Dan is saying that, no, I've got Matt, I had Rachel sitting here, and Phil was just I don't think that's a thing.
Yes.
Yeah, he's saying, I've got people to vote out Josh, and Phil was I don't think so. So I'm going to jump over to that side, because I don't think they're jumping this way.
Yes. So Fu is correctly reading what is on the board. Fu also puts an interesting statement out there as well to Rachel with regards to, yes, we should be getting someone from Blue, but also, if you do the math, Blue has been labeled the strong tribe, but the numbers right now are with the yellow. Mm-hmm. But also what confounds this is that they don't know who's at Redemption.
Yeah. So
it's kind of hard to place those numbers, but Fu is putting it out there, but Rachel is going to convince Fu to go with them and get out Jake. And I think, something that will become really important for the episode as well is that Fu is okay with this because Jake is not her number 1. Dan is her number 1.
Yeah.
Going into Tribal Council, what Fu perceives the plan to be is that Abby, Matt, Rachel, Josh, and her are all going to vote for Jake, and Dan and Jake will vote for Josh. Dan and Jake think that the plan will go on Josh. So they feel like they've got Matt B and Abby, and they don't care what the other people do because they've got 4. Because Jake makes the comment of 4-3, that's a close one.
Yeah.
So he thinks that he's got at least them, and if the other ones doesn't happen, then it's fine.
I think what's also happening here is that like there's so many different fake plans that are being discussed with people. Like when Abby's talking to Jake about that, and Jake is saying, well, that's a close one. It's because Abby is saying that it's going to be like these people are voting for you. So saying that like Rachel, Matt, Josh are going to vote for you. They want me to do it, but I'm going to vote with you. I'm going to come to Blue and we're going to vote Josh.
And none of those plans will be what actually ends up happening.
Yeah.
So Fu, Abby, Matt, Rachel, Josh, all meant to vote for Jake. But last minute, there's this paranoia about the Blue Idol. And we as the audience know that they don't have it, but they don't. So they are convinced that Jake has the idol. And so what Josh realizes is that if they flip it to Dan last minute, that if Jake plays his idol, it doesn't matter. And he's not going to play it on Dan. And they've got 4 votes against 2. Rachel is going to point out that they're going to leave Fu out of this vote, but it doesn't matter.
I think part of what they're doing here as well is they've never actually worked with Fu. Like, they haven't voted with her. I mean, Rachel and Josh have never worked with Abby and Matt either. Like, they're also taking a chance there. But there is a bit of consideration of like, well, we're telling Fu that we're voting for Jake. So if Fu is not with us, she could very much be telling Jake, the target is you.
Yep.
So we're going to play the idol on you. And so it's like, do you want to tell the person that came from the same tribe who you're targeting from that tribe? Maybe not.
This is what makes Survivor so compelling to watch, is the information that we have compared to what they have. Because we know that Fu is telling the truth. She's going to jump to that side. She's going to make a switch on her alliance. She's going to flip on him. But ultimately, they're not going to care. They're going to vote out her number 1 as well and leave her in the lurch. So Dan will be blindsided at this vote. And we have a merge tribe. We have all these people who have now made it to day 2, but one more person has to join them.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well,
I didn't know what was happening.
yeah, so we have a merge tribe, but we still have one more person left to join them. So we head over to Redemption, and we have Dan, who's just been voted out, not competed in any challenges. We have David, who was voted out last time but drew the black buff, so didn't have to compete at that challenge. And then we have Valentina, who has won 3 of the challenges in the game.
And it's so exciting because everyone's there. You've got the red tribe, the yellow tribe. They're all watching. So much of their game is going to depend on like who's going to get in right now. How is that going to affect the merge dynamics? But also all the crew are watching it because it's the last thing that's going to take place on day 1.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a great energy about it. And the stakes were so high that you've got these people that you're rooting for, where you see Dan and you think, okay, well, he's the challenge beast who we assume comes in and can annihilate Redemption challenge, whatever it is. And then like David, who has also been a challenge beast throughout, and comes in as one of our returning players, where you feel like you're likely to be rooting for him by default because he's come in as a previous first boot. And Valentina, who we've been following through the day.
And what was wild for me was that David and Valentina were the ones who were on that part of the puzzle at the beginning of the day, and then they were facing off against each other at the end of the day. But ultimately, Valentina will prevail. She will earn her spot back into the game. Redemption is finished. Redemption Island is done. It's not an island. People will not go there for the second half of the season, which is traditionally what would happen in a Survivor season. We don't have someone coming in at the final 5. Now, the theme manifests in players. So we have Valentina, who obviously kind of represents this Redemption Island. What is it? Redemption Outback kind of area. And she's done all the challenges. And so she's kind of bringing that into the merge. We have Kiara, who also comes for her own sort of redemption.
We have Matt B, who is there for the Bulldog name. still representing this like other form of redemption in a way.
Yep.
And you've got like Joe and Josh, who were last to be picked to be on a tribe, and yet they are still here going into the merge. You've got idols that are still like lurking, but no one's successfully coming across them yet. The best thing about this is the next episode is going to be morning again. It's going to be daytime, and we're going to have like a bit of a fresh start. Maybe not a lot of sleep, but it really does like just, I don't know, throw new life into the game that people get to have a rest here and then wake up and then just like, okay, like, let me look at the deck and see like what I want to do now with my game going forward.
Yeah. I can share my Valentina story. So at the end of the day, we all go to bed. I think Kyle and I probably got about 4 hours sleep, 5 hours sleep, or 1. Oh yeah. Kyle got less. And I just found a room and collapsed in it. But it was also the room in which Valentina had been sequestered in. So I was in like Valentina's room from the beginning of the day, and I just passed out on a bed. And I was also like so worried about Valentina's well-being by the end of the day. And I was just like kind of dozing off, and then out of nowhere, I just kind of jumped up and was like, Valentina! And then I had to be like, she's safe, she's fine, she's sleeping in a bed, she's okay. We'll see her in the morning, and being like, okay, thank God. Why did you only get 1 hour sleep? I don't think I knew this.
Yeah, I was a mess. Like I could not sleep. Like I laid down in the bed, but I was just like wide awake. Like there was just no turning off my mind. And when you've got like an alarm set, and the alarm's set for like 5 o'clock, and you're like, it's just not going to happen. But we were doing quite a bit still that night, even after we stopped filming. We were still walking around like for a while, like sorting things out for the next day. It was very hard. I'm repping host today. I'm also conveniently very tired right now, in true host style. And hosts are impartial, of course, so I'm wearing all the colours for all the tribes.
And apparently past seasons as well.
Yes.
And I'm repping green, the colour of our merged tribe.
Congratulations. I also have green.
Oh, I just realised as well we don't have a merged tribe. They're still in their other tribes.
Oh, they are, yeah. What we had decided to do with the outcast coming back into the game is, so the past 3 seasons, they've always come in and then they've joined a merged tribe. With season 3, it was you're going to exile, but then we're straight over into the merge. And because we knew we were going to have the overnight portion and this person was going to be away from them potentially for a large part of the day, we wanted to bring them back in at nighttime and let them go back to one of the camps with a group of people to sleep. So they at least had a little bit of something in-game in a tribe before joining this full merge tribe. So that was the logic behind that. And it was always going to be the tribe that had the fewest members.
We just didn't explain it very well on the show.
Right.
We were like, off you go, Valentina.
Yeah, with them.
Yeah. It's time for bed.
Yeah. It's not a secret that, like, yes, this is the merge tribe, but they're going to sleep still in those tribes.
Yeah.
Which is, like, logistical for us. Like, we did not want to bring them all together and be like, you're merged, go to bed.
Because merge is so chaotic and people want to talk and people want to reunite. I think our crew would have killed us if we were like, and now we're going to capture that.
Yeah.
So keep them separate, keep them in the tribes that they're in right now. They were also locked down, so they were told not to discuss the game anyway. Everyone was very well behaved.
Yeah, they had a camp mum and a camp dad that stayed in a tent with them overnight as well.
Oh yeah. Is that true?
Yeah.
Rosie was one then.
Rachel.
Yeah, right. Okay. Thank you for joining us. We will be here next week to break down the merge episode of Backyard Survivors Season 4. Woo!
It's big.
It is big. I mean, it's the same amount of length. It is big. It's the same amount of time. Still only an hour. But lots happens.
12 people.
Yeah. Good luck.